Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today is April the 30th, 2022, the last day of April. So I'm going to show you all Crispr Therapeutics today from the long-term perspective. I know y'all may have thought that I forgot about Crispr, but I haven't. You guys can still see in front of you my last price prediction. I'm going to break that down, and then I'm going to break down what we're going to look forward to into the market in Crispr so that we can be prepared for it. So welcome to the channel. To those who are new, this is what I do. I do price predictions. I come through and try to predict where prices are going to go so that you and I can win, so that we can dominate, so that we can profit from the market moves. And I'll show it to you in a way that is not complex nor confusing. So join me. If you're new, hit the like button, share the video, also subscribe to the channel, tap that bell notification as well, because you definitely do not want to miss out on none of my content. Thank you to all my day ones, the ones who's been riding with me since the wheels been hooked to the vehicle, because we've been going down the road, knocking out these price predictions and making some very good forecasts as to where price is going to go. Thank you to all of my day ones as well. So now real quick, let me break down what happened recently in Crispr Therapeutics against my last price prediction, which was on February the 28th. So here it is. Let's zoom in on this chart. Okay. So at that moment in time, I was telling you all to be prepared to see Crispr go up in price, and needless to say, it did. It did go up. You guys can see it. There have been numerous trading days to where we could have capitalized on some profitability, right? Sad part, market didn't come up there to $74. The buyers didn't have enough gas to take price up there, which is why I come through and give you all price targets. That's why I give you certain levels for you to snip off some profitability. Because just because the price didn't go up to $74 doesn't mean we didn't have opportunity to at least win some trades, right? First area was around 68, so that was around 14% right there. That's decent. That's a pretty good move higher following February the 28th, right? Yeah, that's a very good move, because it didn't take long for Crispr Therapeutics to come in and hit $68. And that was about all we had. We had two opportunities for us to get 14%, right? First time was here, March the 18th. Second time was April the 4th and April the 5th. So we had opportunity. It was there. But now, it's not there. We need to talk. We definitely need to talk about what the market looks like in Crispr. You may not like it. I know you guys been paying attention to a lot of YouTubers who were pumping Crispr. It's going to be a massive conglomerate in, biogenomics and gene editing. It's going to be a formidable player. It's going to be great. I know you guys heard all that content already. But when you come in and you look at the price, it doesn't look so great now, does it? No, it doesn't. This is why I don't pay attention to that information. That information is only geared to get you to feel and think a certain way. This is what you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking about price and price only, because you begin to figure out that everyone here who has an interest in stocks, who has an interest in companies, always come back to one thing, and that's price. And this price chart for Crispr doesn't look so great. It doesn't look good at all. Matter of fact, it looks terrible. So if anybody comes in and they do a video on Crispr Therapeutics and how it's going to be massively profitable in the next 40,000 years, always come back and see what the price looks like. Because if the price doesn't go along with what they're saying, don't believe them. Don't believe them. Because if you believe that Crispr Therapeutics is going to be some massive conglomerate, that price, the stock is going to go massively higher, and then you come and look at the chart and say, well, the chart is going down though, don't believe them. Because people ultimately decide what they think with what they do with their money. If they come in and buy it, this price chart will reflect that. If people are coming in and buying Crispr Therapeutics, guess what? The price chart will reflect that. When people come in and sell, the price chart will reflect that. And this is what this market is. This is a bearish market in Crispr. Emphatically. You cannot convince me of anything out the norm that this is not a bearish market. Look at where we've been. Right here. The high. January of 2021. Just a year ago. The price in CRISPR was trading at $220. Now, today, we're at 50. That's 77% gone, wiped out. Now, what if it ain't over? What if the market in CRISPR is still weak? We need to pay attention. One of the problems is because on my last video in February, right, we wanted to see the buyers to see if they were able to take out this restriction area, which was back in 2019. They couldn't do it. It got rejected even lower than that restriction line that I've created. That's even worse. That tells us that there's a lot of weakness here in the market in CRISPR. Now look. What I tell you earlier is that people speak with their money, okay? And you guys can actually see two very high volume bars, okay? And I'm here to tell you, when you see these type of price bars, you need to be paying attention because it reflects people like Kathy Woods, because I think that she was a big holder of this company, of this stock. When you see these spikes, that represents people like her. Okay, it may not be her at all, but it's somebody who has a whole lot of stock. And you want to look at the price in relation to that volume, right? So for instance, look at this. Okay, right here. This is where this high volume bar came in at. Okay. Now, when you see this much volume, it represents transactions. It represents either buying or selling. Okay. Now, the result, we always want to pay attention to the result of what occurs. If all of this volume came in on October the 13th, 2021, it should have had an impact on lifting price higher if it was really buying. But when you look at the result, what happened to the price in CRISPR? It continued to go down. So what that means is that right here on October the 13th, 2021, somebody with a whole lot of stock in CRISPR sold. They got off their position because the price fell. If they was really buying, price would have maintained support and ultimately would have begun to go up higher. That didn't happen. That's a big clue. Now let's go to the second volume bar in CRISPR. Okay. And again, you look at the result. What happened? Right here on March the 18th, just a couple of months ago, right here. What happened on that day? Do you think there was more buyers? Look at the result. Or do you think there was more selling going on? Exactly. Selling is going on into the market of CRISPR. And this was another big holder in this stock. They offloaded their position, period. You cannot convince me any otherwise. Now, who it was, I could care less, but I can see their footprint. I can tell that somebody does not have belief in CRISPR and they came in and said, I need to let it go because the price in CRISPR fell. That is why here, April the 4th, April the 5th, price got rejected twice and came down. So that's a massive clue for us going forward in CRISPR and say, look, if price in CRISPR cannot trade above $70, we know that the price is still weak. It is what it is. That's another clue that this trend in CRISPR is not done yet. This downtrend in CRISPR is not through. Now it brings me to the next issue. Okay. It brings me to the next problem. The next thing we need to figure out. I'm zooming out the chart because I want to show you all this massive trend in CRISPR. Okay, here we are. We are now at the doorsteps of us seeing the market in CRISPR hold this trend. This trend started in 2017. Okay, so it's pretty entrenched. It's pretty much ingrained in the market that every time the price in CRISPR comes down to the trend line, price goes up. We're not going to be tricked, right? So as we go forward, you guys can see that it happened twice, that CRISPR came through and bounced. So it needs to happen again. So that is the premise that we're going to follow in CRISPR. We need to see buying go on right now. Now, let's say we don't get buying. Are we going to be confused? Are we going to be nervous? No, because I've already shown you reasons as to why people are selling the stock and at what level they're selling. Okay. So let's do this. Starting out a new month. So let's look at the monthly price bar in Crispr. Now, it doesn't look too bullish to me at all right now. I'm going to keep it real with all of my viewers. This doesn't look bullish. We've seen the market in Crispr over the last 3 months. 3 months, consecutive months at that, to try to break above $70. And they couldn't do it. And we even are seeing the price close at the low of this monthly price bar. We don't want to see that in Crispr. Now, I think the buyers are going to try to stage a comeback and try to lift price off this trend, but I'm not going to be tricked. I'm not going to be fooled, because I know ultimately $70 is restriction, and there's even a bigger area of restriction closer right here, around 60. So even if the market was to go up, I'm not going to be confused and tricked to think that it's a buy now, because I know that there's restriction areas that sellers are controlling, 60 and 70. So now I'm preparing myself to see the market in Crispr go lower still. Now the first area is not that far. I mean, I can actually see buyers trying to come into the market in Crispr here. So I would say around like $46. $46. My second one is going to be around 45. So I'm going to try to grab it around 45. Now the biggest problem, okay, if we're going to predict that Crispr is going to break this trend, we can no longer be bullish. We're going to trade sideways. And I want you all to understand that. We cannot be bullish once price breaks this trend that started in 2017. That's over. And I know you're going to get a lot of videos to where you need to come in and buy the market. I already know you will. A lot of people are going to create those videos. So now, let me go ahead and drop the price prediction into the market in Crispr, because the evidence that we've seen on the price chart still shows us that price is weak. Now I can see restriction, like I said earlier, around $60. I can see that. But the biggest area that we know that sellers are there, people are offloading their positions around 70. Okay, so I'm holding around 70. My first price target though is for us to see the market in Crispr come down to, like I said, around 45. That gives us 8%. Hey, I'll take it, right? Because we know that we are entering a point that buyers are going to try to come in and prop up the price. And before it does it, we want to make sure we get out the way. Take that 8% there, around 45. Second price target is going to be around 40, okay, which is around 18.97%, almost 19%. Okay, right there. Third area is going to be here, around 35, which gets around 30.75% or 29.74% profitability. Okay, so now let me put this over on the daily time frame, because I want us to track the market from a daily perspective. Let me bring this in closer. And we're there. All right, we're predicting where price in Crispr is about to go. All right, so now it's your turn. I have given you all my 3 price targets. First one's not that far, 45. Second one is 40. Third one is around $35. All right, now let me know what you think. Make sure you maintain a profitability, and as always, trade different.